Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video you'll see an overview of the AlgoLaser 22-watt laser engraver. This was sent out by AlgoLaser.com, so a big thanks to them. It's great to get a new piece of equipment to try out, and I've been meaning to do this for a little while, so here we go. We're going to go through it all. I'll show you all the contents of the box, get it assembled, and we'll test it out, and then I'll also go through some of the things that I found difficult to get started with, some of the plus points, and for me this is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I think if I can spend a good bit of time getting used to the machine and the software, this is going to be brilliant for creating some awesome pieces of terrain and lots of little things that we can use within the hobby and for the business side of things too. It's going to be great for doing logos on merch and things like that. This machine came all the way from China and it was packaged really well protected. You can see they've got the safety goggles in there. We'll go through all the components in detail later on, but you're going to have to do a little bit of assembling with this machine. But yeah, certainly packaging 100% really good, put together really well, and it's going to arrive safely, I think. You've got two layers, you've got everything going on there, and it also comes with the other box, which is the air pump, which is this little box here. So we'll get this out. And I found building this machine was really easy. So the instructions and the how-to guides, they're very clear. So there was no problem at all assembling this. And a few cables going on. There's the air pipe as well, but that was no problem. It was very simple. It's just connecting it all together. So I don't think you need any experience in this kind of thing. I certainly don't have any. It's going to be pretty straightforward. You can see here the air pump also really well packaged, so it's got everything you need, and that's got a quick start guide of its own as well. But very simple, you just connect it to the machine, connect the air pipe in the right way as it's shown in the clear diagrams, and then you're good to go. I would say this took about 45 minutes to get built properly, and here it is on the table. And now let's go through all the components, have a closer look at the machine itself now it's put together. So here it is. And you can see you've got a little key here. This is the on and off position, and then the power button. And then you've also got an emergency stop button. So if you need to hit that and stop things, if it's getting a bit smoky, then you can certainly do that. Then we've got the air pump over here, and very easy to connect. You just follow those pipes along. There's only one place that the power button will go into the machine itself. And the great thing, you've only got one plug socket for the whole thing. Everything's connected. And then you can change the air volume using this little button here. Let's grab the quick start guide so you can have a look at that. So here it tells you before you start what to do, all your safety guidelines, that kind of thing. It's got the different languages too. Then you've got all the parts lists so you know exactly what's included. And then you just go step by step putting it together. So if you're used to building plastic models, I guess that's going to be coming in handy here. Just follow the instructions and it'll be no problem. And with all the tools included, you don't need anything else. You've got everything you need in the box. And I didn't have any problems at all putting this together. I did have problems getting going later on, which you'll find out as we get through the video. But yeah, as far as assembly is concerned, no problem at all. Really easy. And then it's got how to use here. You can connect it to your Mac or your PC. Now I've connected it to my Mac, and then I had to use the Lightburn software because of that. There is another software that you can use that in the book it says it's called Laser GRBL, but I couldn't find anything to use for the Mac. I think that might just be for PC. So I went with Lightburn, and you get a free trial with that 30 days, and then I believe you have to pay afterwards. There's a quick start guide for the pump too, and then you get your little toolbox here with all the little bits. You've got a brush and all sorts going on, little spanner. So once you've built it, everything can go in that neat little box, and your safety goggles too. You also get this laser engraving consumables package. This is going to give you all different types of wood, plastics, I think even some metal sheets as well, and the little cable ties as well to keep things tidy, little Velcro strap. And this is just for you to practice on and have a go so you can see what the machine will do. And we'll just be using the thin plywood piece for this video, but you can do the laser engraving on all these different materials. Alright, time to get those safety goggles on and let's get engraving. We're all plugged in, so let's hit the power button and see what happens. And then the machine starts to move, pops itself neatly in the corner. Can be a little bit noisy, so look out for that. But then I've gone and got my logo and I popped it into the Lightburn software. And then I was just experimenting with positioning this. But then when I was ready to print, it says there was a problem sending data to the laser. The machine may be busy or paused. And so I found with this, I was having to unplug the USB cable and just go through the different devices, and where you can see on the right hand side it says auto there, just bring that tab down And I just pressed everything until it worked. Sometimes it worked on auto, but most of the time it worked on this CU.USB modem 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just find the right setting for you. It's going to be different on PC perhaps to Mac as well, so just be aware of that. But it was a bit of unplugging, restarting the machine itself, plugging the USB in, and there's a few times where it wasn't connecting at all until I did disconnect it and restart it. So just be aware of that. It wasn't really easy or smooth to get going with it. But once it was connected, I dragged in one of the files that AlgoLaser provides as a free download to give a go. So I popped that in there, and then it started cutting, no problem. And so once I cut out a shape, I thought I'll try again. And there's a lot of smoke, which I thought was maybe a bit excessive, and it kind of went through to the table underneath. So I raised it up a little bit using these little bits of wood. But then because my table wasn't dead flat, you'll see later on that the cuts aren't exactly perfect. And that's not the machine's fault, that's my fault. So I definitely need to get a proper dedicated area for this. Maybe even do it outside perhaps. Is that a good idea? I don't know, we'll have to try it. But definitely want to get a flat area, get the spirit level out, and some kind of rough piece of chunky wood underneath it. Because when you're going to be cutting through the wood like I'm doing here, it is going to go through. And I didn't get the protective honeycomb platform that goes underneath. But you can see it's cut the piece out, no problem. And yeah, again, because it was on just not a completely flat space, the arches there are a little bit off. But to the right, you can see that they are very crisp and a lot better. But there we go, that's the first piece of wood cut. And once I get used to this software, really spend some time working on it, get that dedicated area set up so this is perfectly flat, I think we're going to be good to go. It's really easy to line up your laser, but you can see it's gone right through to the table on both occasions. So that's not ideal, and I do need to do something properly with this. But again, not the machine's fault, that's my fault. And I just wanted to get started and just share with you the first steps of this machine. Right, now it's time to do some engraving. And this is where I came across a few snags. It took me a while to get going. And using the Lightburn software, it's pretty straightforward. You literally just drag in a PNG or different file types. You can use all different file types. And if you want to just engrave an image onto it, it should be really straightforward. And I was just figuring out how do I get the machine lined up to start with so I know exactly where to place the piece of wood that I was using. And I figured out that if you click this button here that's called frame, the machine will then move and go to the area, and as you can see here, it's going to trace around the frame and size of the area that it's going to be doing the engraving for. So once I did that, I knew I could place the wood, and so I clicked start and we're off. I did all the settings as I thought were correct, but nothing was happening. At this stage, it was just moving. The laser was definitely working, but it wasn't actually leaving any marks on the wood at all. On the AlgoLaser.com website, it has a guide here which tells you which settings to put in depending on what you're going to be doing. So I was engraving, and I've got the type of wood that I was using, and it was telling me here to put in the speed at 10,000. But that was 10,000 millimeters per minute. And here on the Lightburn software, I was putting in 10,000 millimeters per second. So it's going so fast, it wasn't leaving any mark on there at all. So I'm going to have to convert that properly, but I was just trying to get it working. And I didn't notice that difference until way later on, once I'd actually got it to engrave something. I just reduced the speed, hoping that would improve the power of the laser. And once I did that, I took it down to 200 millimeters per second. We started to see something on the wood, and here you can see the logo is actually starting to be printed now. So once you get that conversion right from the chart that they've got on their website, and then convert that into the Lightburn software, which isn't theirs, that's a separate product, then I think we're going to be good to go. Make sure those glasses are on too. But here you can see the Skirmish Games logo is coming out now. And yeah, really happy with this. It looks kind of cool with the camera, the way that laser's flashing. But this machine is really much better than I'm showing it here because I've just not got the setting bang on. But this is the first time I've done it, and I wanted that to come across in the video. So I'll definitely be improving on this, making some more videos later on so you can see it coming together. But at least I've got something on the wood. And I've got to say, there's some great reviews out there on YouTube for this product from people whose channels are all about using these kind of tools, and they really show the potential of this machine and just how good it can be. And I think if you know what you're doing with the software, you get all the settings correct and get it all synced up, I think there's a lot of potential here. I'm going to be exploring that. I'm certainly not going to stop at this stage. I want to make some terrain, some different buildings and things, and so hopefully this machine is going to be able to do that. I'm sure it can. It can do loads of cool stuff. So yeah, I would definitely recommend, if you're really keen on this, have a look at those other channels, because they really know what they're talking about with this kind of thing. But if you've never done it before, maybe this has helped, because they don't explain some of the things that I came across, some of these problems that I had to put right to actually get it working. So maybe that's going to help you out a little bit. I hope so. AlgoLaser have also developed an app for this, and I think if you could get the app to connect with your machine, this would be really good, because it simplifies the process, gives you loads of images, and yeah, just makes it a lot easier to get going. But I had some problems right from the start with this. I had to enable location permission, which isn't a problem in itself, but once I'd done that, I just couldn't connect the machine to my network, and so I put in all the Wi-Fi details, all the passwords, everything like that as normal, but it just wouldn't connect. So I couldn't use the app, which was a real big shame, because I think that's one of the key features of this, making it simple to get started with. And without the app, I had to rely on the Lightburn software, which I think is going to be great, but again, I don't want to pay for it, and the app was one of the big kind of appeals to me. That's something that I was really keen on. I like the idea that it's very simple. You can just use the app and then connect with the machine. And I'll keep trying, and also go onto the support page of the AlgoLaser website and go onto the live chat. Hopefully they can help me figure it out. Same old thing though, turning everything off, restarting, which I've done, still couldn't get it. And you don't want to go through that. You want it to be nice and simple. So there you go, that's my first time ever using one of these kind of machines. I'm really glad I actually got it to cut something out and engrave, and I think just with a little bit more time on that software, getting the settings right, this is going to be great fun. I'm going to be able to create some really cool terrain and some nice branded things for the tournaments and for the channel as well. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you had a good look at everything that's included, and now you can kind of have an idea about what to expect if you did pick one of these up. But definitely have a look at those other YouTubers who do this kind of thing for a living and use these machines every day, because I think that's where you're going to get the real technical info from. And if you're familiar with these as well, then I think you're going to like the machine, because what I've read and what I've seen from other reviewers about the quality of it and just the power of it as well with the 22-watt laser, it's pretty impressive. So yeah, in the right hands, I think this could be a great tool, and with a bit of practice, I think I can create some really nice things to share on the channel in the future. A massive thank you to AlgoLaser.com for reaching out and sending me this laser engraver to share with you here on the channel. I'll put a link down below where you can have a look at their website and find out more about this machine and other things that they do. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Hope you liked the video. If you did, it'd be great if you hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Tabletops. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters for helping me to keep going with these regular videos. I couldn't do this without you, and I appreciate your support so much. If you'd like to join the Patreon community, support the channel, get some great perks at the same time, there's a link down below in the description. It'll be awesome to see you there.